this is Carolina with All Things Carol. So we're actually going to start a 10-week series focusing on ACEs. ACEs is Adverse Childhood Experiences. I was exposed to ACEs through a movie called Resilience by Western Youth Services and Dr. Burke's TED Talk. I will be linking down below those two items, so if you guys would like to have more information on it. I was inspired by Dr. Burke's TED Talk on what ACEs is and how it affects the scientific aspect of the development brain, but I'm actually going to take a different point of view. I'm going to focus this 10-week series on people who have a high ACEs point score in our adults. So I'm focusing this series on adults and not children who are actually going through trauma at this very moment. If you are a child and you're going through trauma, I will be linking the number for where you can call and get further help. This video may help you, but I'm really gearing towards adults who have overcome their childhood experiences but yet still live with that emotion or burden of having those thoughts. I really want to empower you to be a resilient person through these 10 weeks. Each week I'm going to focus on one question. And if you would like to take the ACEs score study, I will link that down below and you can already know how many points you are. I am not a professional and by no means have all the answers, but I really do believe that there should be someone out here speaking about this and empowering people to become resilient and overcome these traumas. The study was done in the mid-90s through the CDC and the Kaiser Permanente family. Dr. Burke was exposed to this and she just dropped what she was doing and became a head force on this epidemic. And so I really was inspired by her to start this video and just really expose what traumas are and how we can overcome them as a new generation. And what was really surprising about the study is that 67% of the population has at least one ACEs point. And there's an 80% chance that if you have one, you are paired with another. So you're most likely to have two. That means 1 in 8 people have an ACEs score. One of the things that Dr. Burke talks about in the TED Talk, which I really recommend you guys looking at it because she's a professional and she's able to really, in an eloquent way, explain what ACEs is in just a brief moment. So I would really recommend you guys going to that video and watching it. It's only 15 minutes long. Something that caught my attention in that video or in that TED Talk was fight or flight instincts. And she was explaining the bear situation. And she was saying that anybody who's going through trauma and has an ACEs higher than 4 is most likely going to develop a chronic disease due to the fight and flight system. So she explained it through a bear. She said that if you're in a forest and you see a bear, there's going to be that fight or flight adrenaline rush rushing through you and you're going to have to decide whether to fight or fight. But that's normal and that's okay because that's what our adaptive system has created. But what happens if that bear comes home every single night and now you have to develop the fight or flight mode every single time? That becomes a maladaptive behavior. And so that really caught my attention because we do live in a society with so many adults who have or are carrying these traumas and are literally walking bears that are ready to just hurt other people. And so I really wanted to educate the community and explain and expose what ACEs is and how are these tools that I will be providing gonna help you overcome and become a resilient, more empowering person. Like I said, I'm here for you. I'm here to educate. So if you just want to expose or want to share anything, you can share it to my email or comment down below. I will be praying for every single comment and every single email that I will be receiving. I am also going to share other testimonies or other experiences myself. First question is, did a parent or other adult in the household often or very often swear at you, insult you, put you down, or humiliate you, or act in a way that made you afraid that you might be physically hurt? This might look like someone who said bad words to you because they were angry or frustrated, said bad words to you because you did something wrong. Names that were correlated to an incident that was negative. Basic information was given to you in a negative way. Information was given to you to hurt you and not to edify you. And called you nicknames that were with a negative connotation. You can say to myself, of course, everyone has said a bad word once. Everyone has called me a negative name at least once. I'm not talking about that particular situation. I'm focusing more on people who constantly were hearing this. Like every single day of their life, they at least can recall one or two people or one or two statements that were said to them every single day. Those are the type of people that will receive a 1 point. That's a yes to your ACEs score. So my tool for this one is to smile. I know that sounds ridiculous and it's like, really, after all this trauma you're asking me to smile? But in reality, smiling is a exercise and it also helps with the self-confidence that one has. So the scripture that kind of like ties along with that is Ephesians 5:4. And in Ephesians 5:4 it says, "Let there be no filthiness, nor foolish talk, nor crude joking, which are out of place, but instead let there be thanksgiving." So Christ says to let all the negative things out and focus on thanksgiving. So what I want to do now is break down that scripture. So the first portion said, "Let there be no filthiness, nor foolish talk, nor crude joking, which are out of place." So what that means is that they do not belong. They shouldn't be said. And so obviously when you were growing up, you had people expose these negative things towards you and you think that they identify you. But in reality, it's saying that they are out of place, meaning that they're debunked. They do not hold any ground, any root, or any truth to them. And then the second part says, "But instead, let there be thanksgiving." So it says, instead of dwelling on all those negative comments and thoughts that once were like being said to you, let there be thanksgiving. And so what I have for that is we have to be thankful for what we do have. We are here today and you're watching this. That means you're still alive and you're still breathing, and that means there's a purpose for you. And so therefore you should be thankful for that. So I truly believe that being thankful or having Thanksgiving really does generate this gratitude in our hearts and in our minds, and therefore becomes a resilient, more powerful person and brings more joy to our lives because we focus on what is good in our lives. And so that's just a basic tip, and I know that throughout the next weeks is going to get more deep and more severe, and maybe my words are not going to bring any comfort to you, but I just really believe that these steps, if you do them, they will make you become a more resilient person. And so it's worth a shot. Every week I'm going to end the video with a challenge. And so the challenge for today is to go and make a list of all the things that make you happy. Even if on your list you only have one item, that's enough to make you move forward. And my other challenge is to smile at people. Just smile. Some of them are going to smile back, some of them are not. But smiling will let you connect the things you're grateful for with your internal feelings. And so that's really going to push you forward and have this gratitude heart and just move forward into a more resilient life. So those are my two challenges, okay? One, write a list of all the things that make you happy. I'm sure there's going to be more than one, but if there's just one, don't worry, don't feel sad. That is more than enough to push you forward and keep moving on this walk of life. And number two is smiling at people. Smile at yourself, smile at the people around you, smile at your friends and family, and just know that that smiling will connect you to what you're feeling inside with the gratitude list that you made. So side note, if you are feeling like you are the person who is now expressing these negative comments, saying these bad words, and putting people down, just stop yourself and know that it's not because you want to, it's because that was what you were taught, but something new is being taught today. And so I really want to encourage you to catch yourself and really just go back to the challenge, smiling and writing a list of what you're grateful for. So that was it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below. See you next time.